All right, Jeremy, give me a thumbs up when you can see the deck. Thank you, sir. Well, he's kind of okay. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the November All Hands. Hugely appreciative of your time tonight. Usual house rules apply. We will be going through the deck with a variety of presenters, so please do stay on mute. Give those folks the floor. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. We will answer them as they come in. And if there's something you want to chat about, stick around after the call. Staff will hang out and answer questions to your heart's content. But this is your November All Hands. We are at our usual agenda, some updates on what that might look like later on tonight, but we'll roll through ops updates, ops support updates, and then we will close out with our typical announcement and recognition. This is a sort of a special month for a lot of us in the military veteran community. There's only one day of note this particular week. That is, of course, Veterans Day. No other days that matter this week. You may hear propaganda to the contrary, but ignore all of it. Uh, this Thursday is Veterans Day. I know it's kind of a strange thing as a veteran to head into. I don't understand why the Marines are filling up the chat with all of this nonsense. Very confusing. I'm sure it's a mystery that may be explained to me later on. No, but seriously, Veterans Day always a very interesting holiday as a veteran of both the wars that really just concluded. It really does help remind me of that higher purpose. Why I came home. It's not about the free meals. It's not really about the recognition. It really is just about understanding what calls us to do something more. And here in Team Rubicon, here in the South Branch, we have those three things highlighted for everyone right there on the screen. We fight hurricanes, we kick disasters in the teeth, and as always, we crush the coronavirus. So, tons and tons of work that's happened this year. Let's hear about it from our friends giving us the situation update. Is this Elizabeth or Adam?
That will be me. I apologize. Y'all have to hear from me a little more than normal tonight. So we have had a little bit going on the last 30 days here in the South Branch, but currently we are down to one active operation after Bow Down demobbed this past month. We've got the Afghan resettlement still going out at Fort Bliss in Donna Ana, and that's actually going to be demobbing on November 19th as of now. We do have two operations kind of in the plannings, a couple of recovery ops out in North Florida, so one in Pensacola, one in Gainesville. And that is where we stand at this time. And just a note, hurricane season does end in 21 days. Well, like 20 and a wake up for those of you who count that way. So with that, Drew, you can move over into rebuild and I will follow on for Brandon. Steve is out this week for anybody. Yes, Bill, I know I wasn't gonna tease anybody with the maybe demobbing on Donana. But so Steve is out this week for vacation time. So so if you do need planning things, please hit me up. I will be covering with rebuild. Brandon is not joining us this evening because he is recovering from his very terrible trip up to beautiful Alaska, where he saw those northern lights. So just don't feel too bad for him. But with that, they did kick off the Haines Alaska rebuild project. They've got 2 clients going. That is a purely contracted operation out there for rebuild. They aren't engaging volunteers in that one, as they aren't across all of rebuild at the moment. Selma, they have got 7 clients in process. Some cool fun fact that he shared with us this afternoon on that is that one of the homeowners that were able to help with rebuild out there actually marched across the bridge with Martin Luther King Jr. back during I believe it's called Bloody Sunday. Drew, I believe that's the right name? Yeah. And so that is an awesome opportunity, an honorable opportunity to help out that homeowner. Continuing to wrap up operations from, or rebuild operations from that storm last year, which was Hurricane Laura. and Orange and Lake Charles. And then we do actually have a welcome home tomorrow here in Houston for the Pena family. So that's really exciting. And the Smith and Weiss family should be coming up here before the end of the year. They're closing those out. So rebuild is currently just kicking ass, got lots going on. And they are cognizant that everyone is very excited as volunteers to get back into the field with them and working on that plan for 2022. So keep that in mind. With that, I believe I get to turn it over to somebody else, Drew.
Yes, you do, ma'am. Thank you so much for those updates. Love to see all the work still going on in the field, even after all of the work that's happened thus far this year. With that, we're going to move into our ops team updates, starting off with the mighty Geo Missile.
Hey, folks, good to see everybody tonight. I think we have upwards of 70 at this point. It's good to see everybody. I want to invite Patty Kurz, who is our Deputy Administrator for Atlanta, to present our slides this evening.
Hey, everybody. Looks like we have a lot going on in leader onboarding, which is great. Amy's been busy down in the coastal area. We have Dana Fields, Matt Price, Dale Fearson, Kat McNair, Harry Gardner, Taylor Donnell, and Mario Luan are onboarding already. And then Scott, Walter, Carito, Kevin, and Stephen are, it looks like they're in greenhouse. So there's a lot going on down there. So Amy, if you have any ideas for me, I'll take them. What we do have going on in the metro area is we just finished our inaugural Race for Rescuers. One of our own gray shirts, Allison Betts, she's a headline news meteorologist. She put this event on. It was supposed to happen before COVID. So it finally happened. She's thinking we're going to pull in almost $4,000. She'll know by the end of this week. Had 94 runners. Most of them were virtually. We had a great turnout with gray shirts and runners, got a lot of 5 corporate sponsors. So we really touched a lot of people out there in Piedmont Park last weekend. And then we have some check roll call for some wellness events that we have going on. We're also doing our Georgia Sit and Sips on the first Thursday of every month, and Alabama's doing it on the 3rd. And then the Selma Rebuild currently has 7 potential clients. So we're going to hear more about that soon. So that's all I have from our area.
Thank you, ma'am. Sounds like a ton. We're going to shift up north to the Carolinas.
Hey, good evening, folks. I'm coming to you live from Fort Bliss. I just got back to the FOB, and I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for all the hard work that you guys do. Sometimes we don't always get to see what happens on the front lines because we can't deploy, but I just want to say that this has been one of the most powerful ops I've ever been on. That being said, I am going to hand this over to the amazing Mark Baker to present the Carolina slide.
Hey everyone, nice to see everyone and glad to be here. Carolinas are hopping and popping as usual. We got a Veterans Day Memorial Picnic coming up on the 11th. Aberdeen's doing their monthly rebuild on the November 20th, and same day we got a Bond of Brothers and Sisters event, social event happening. Wreaths Across America down in Oakwood, and the December Aberdeen Habitat for Humanity op is going to kick off in December. The recon was complete in Haywood County. There were no unmet needs identified. I'd like to put a big thank you to Janet and Mike West for going out there and taking a look for us. Hails and Farewells going to welcome Mel Matthews from the as the Charlotte membership lead down there, and we do have some openings that we're still looking to fill. We've got the Carolinas area admin, the Western Carolinas admin, and the Carolinas finance. So anybody hears of gray shirts wanting to step up, please send them. Big shout out to the Fabulous Carolina membership team who spoke with the gray shirts down in Fort Bliss. There were a couple of folks who were who had been gray shirts for a while, hadn't got out, and our membership team was able to rally them to complete the necessary training and become deployable and then get out there. And I believe they enjoyed their experience a lot. That's all we got in the Carolinas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we're going to shift west to Kentucky, Tennessee.
Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to be presenting my slide. Everybody else has other people, but you guys are stuck with me. Sorry. We have been extraordinarily busy, as always, in Kentucky and Tennessee. We have a lot of upcoming events going on. Just wanted to be able to highlight two of those. One taking place on Thanksgiving Day, the other one taking place on Christmas Day. This is going to be a Thanksgiving sit and sip and a holiday sit and sip. We understand that a lot of gray shirts, maybe still separated from their families, or they are just in a crappy mood for the holidays. So we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to experience the amazing Kentucky Sit and Sip. If you haven't been there, well, you're missing out. So on those days, I have just dropped the links in the chat for you guys to register. This is open to everybody in TR Nation. So this is not just a South Branch activity, but we wanted to invite all of South Branch. Big shout out to our membership team for leading this, for having the idea to do this, and continuing to just step up and do an amazing job. On that note, again, want to shout out our amazing membership team. We set a goal at the beginning of the year as a leadership team to get 100 brand new deployable gray shirts by December 31st. We reached that goal yesterday with 53 days toward the end of the year. A lot of that is all the work of our membership team, Caitlin, Walden, Elisa, Tony. I'm probably leaving somebody out. So just, I can't speak enough for them. I want to shout out, I've already shouted out membership like a ton, but again, I'm going to shout them out, as well as Kirby Willis and Joel Beckman. Kirby is our Tennessee Logs deputy, and Joel is our Middle Tennessee planner. They went out on a recon for a potential recovery project this past weekend and made the hard decision that the work was not within our scope. And a lot of times we point out those gray shirts that go out there and, get ops spun up and everything like that. But I wanted to give them a shout out because they took a look at this project and said, you know what, we know we want to go, we know we want to help, but this is not the kind of work that we do. And sometimes that hard decision is the best decision. And so definitely want to give them a shout out. They're always willing to be those folks to go out into the field. And so Kirby and Joel, if you're listening, I appreciate you. And I also want to shout out Matthew James. This year, Matthew has not only stepped into the arena, but he has kicked the door in on the arena and jumped in with both feet. He has been completing training after training after training, stepping up, doing recons, advons, getting out in the field as logistics section chief more than one time. And he just completed TR Instructor 1. So really excited to see where he goes. I'm also going to shout out one event we have upcoming on the calendar, which is a TR Instructor 1 in Franklin, Tennessee on the 18th of December. So if you would like to come join us, we'd love to have you and show off this awesome training facility that we get to borrow. And other than that, the photo on the slide is from our Active Heroes Workday that took place on 10/16. That will be hopefully a location for some SAW training in 2022. That's all we got.
Excellent work. Great job.
And the T-Rex in the background. Sorry about the T-Rex in the background.
I did not see the T-Rex, and now I'm confused. Great job to that membership team. Let's roll south, way south, down to Florida.
Hey everyone, Kayla doing Florida side today. So Sarah and I are still getting in as ops associates here in Florida. So we're still trying to kind of navigate our way through some of this stuff. But, we're still trying to push things through and get events and training here in the Florida area. So we did, Jacksonville had a core ops training in October. Tallahassee did a virtual What's in Your Go bag, for, which we had pretty good attendance for. West Palm Metro did Habitat for Humanity partnership. Want to shout out Carmen, Jude, and Don with training and event logistics support, especially right now while we're still trying to learn our positions. We really, really, really appreciate all of the help that you guys have been giving to us. And also shout out to Renee Chadwell, who is the South Florida administrator, who without her, Sarah and I would be much further behind on learning the ropes here. So thank you so much to all of you guys. Upcoming, we've got the Veterans Day Parade in Jacksonville, a Sawyer Proficiency Day that is also paired with a recreational park cleanup event that will take place in Waldo. Wreaths Across America for Cape Canaveral is happening on the 20th of November, and there's a Stop the Bleed scheduled for early December in West Palm.
I guess that's it. Thank you, ma'am. We're going to head out west now to Oklahoma, North Texas.
Hey, good evening, everybody. All right, so first order of business is to welcome our newest membership coordinator, Katie Bradley. New to the role, but not new to volunteer leadership, as she was previously a logs coordinator, so welcome back, Katie. October 16th, we had the Garrison Brothers Distillery hosting a fundraising event to celebrate the distribution of Hurricane Tough bourbon. 4 years ago, in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, they dedicated 9 barrels of bourbon to raise funds for TR. In total, they raised about $150,000. And this month, I guess last month, they asked us to put on an event, kind of do a little dog and pony show to show their donors exactly who we are. So the gray shirts you see there in the picture all kind of converged on a place called High Texas, which I did not know existed before the last month, to kind of interact with some of the guests. Great opportunity, but you'll see there on the right-hand side, they actually have a TR branded bottle of bourbon that is a single barrel. So a few gray shirts were able to walk away with some of those, like purchasing, not like actually grabbing them, sticking them in their pockets and walking. But also the month of October, we had 3 newly minted TR Instructor 1s. It's going to be Iris Bruton, Britton Woolsey, and Naomi Toldy. So congratulations to those 3 gray shirts. Down there in the Austin Waco Metro, we had a membership gathering promoting the TR brand among Central Texas veterans called Operation Vet Fest, which is not a project or associated with a hazard. They just called it Operation Vet Fest. So coming up for the month of November and into December, DFW leadership is looking at a mulligan for the TRLC gathering to focus on 2022 planning, as well as joining their fellow gray shirts out in the field to perform a service project here in the local communities. Early December, before the next All Hands, the Austin Waco Metro will host a tandem proficiency cut and Saw 1 training opportunity so that we can spend the off season, if there's ever really an off season in TR, refining our proficiency before the storm season kicking off in March. And then lastly, in addition to our quarterly trailer and cash inventory, we're also looking at getting a TR canopy set up for this year's Armed Forces Bowl. Really hoping that comes through and we get those gray shirts out there. Be a great opportunity to show our capabilities and who we are amongst more veterans. But pending any questions, that's all we got.
All right, thank you, sir. Heading out even further west to New Mexico, West Texas, and I'm covering down on this one tonight. Some wins last month, completion of the alien tree removal, which was a service project removing a damaged tree that was a threat to a single home, and then the La Union muck out, which was some great collaboration Chris Lloyd did, following up on an operation of muck outs that the team did earlier back in September. Also, as mentioned earlier, Eagle Landing at Dona Ania Range is still going strong, wrapping up end of next week. The upcoming events, we have Doug driving on a proficiency cut in Sawyer 1 class in early December out at Glorieta Adventure Camp, which has been a long-standing and fruitful relationship for that New Mexico team. They give us awesome awesome billets, and we clear their trees out for them, so everybody wins. The photos there to call attention to, and you saw Mike drop it into the chat, but General Evans, who is the commanding general of U.S. Army North, sent a letter of appreciation to Jake Wood last week. If you can't read the tiny little text, I will copy it into the general so you guys can sort of read it at your leisure later. But just it's a measure of the appreciation that we've received from U.S. Army, also reflecting similar sentiments we've had from Department of Homeland Security and just everyone that we've run into. Just the feedback and support we've gotten from all of our partners at DoD for our work, welcoming the Afghan resettlement project has been just awesome and incredible. Seeing that camp transform over the life of our work out there, from when it was a pile of dirty clothes on the floor to the photos that you guys see now with the built out stores, clean product ready to go out. It's really been incredible. So thanks to everybody who deployed out there, everybody who supported it throughout its life. If you haven't been out, your window to get out is closing rapidly. Maybe too late if you need to fly. So do get with the folks who were out there, because it really was something special. We're gonna drive now down to South Texas.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to be reading the slide for tonight. So I just want to introduce myself, that I'm new to the team. I'm the San Antonio Deputy Administrator, and also welcome to Kathy, who's the South Texas Deputy Membership. So welcome, Kathy. Some upcoming events. We have a Core Ops class down in South Texas in the end of November. San Antonio Metro has a Habitat for Humanity event. And then we have an upcoming TR instructor one and some fire mitigation down in Converse. And for some shout outs, shout out to Pam and Dale for helping out our partners at Mission on Wheels over the weekend as they gutted a trailer to reset for the next hurricane season. And I just want everyone to get excited about all the upcoming events we have for South Texas. And I'm going to pass it on to Elizabeth to explain what RASCO is.
Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate that. All right. So one thing that we have that we're really excited about piloting in South Texas the weekend after Thanksgiving is RASCO, which is your Recon Advon Site Survey, Core Ops, all in one weekend. We're going to be testing this out to see if it works. It's an opportunity for you to be able to attend all three in one weekend. We can offer billeting because it's like attending something on Saturday and Sunday, as opposed to just a 4-hour class, which is Recon Advon for half a day. Typically not something people want to drive all the way in for 8 hours for, but hopefully this RASCO setup will empower you guys to get out there and empower a lot of the gray shirts to get out there and work on those build upon qualifications, right? Recon Advon informs Site Survey, informs Core Ops. So having that kind of full picture as we get people skilled up and brain died on the word, but we get a robust skill set under their belt, so we can force multiply that way. So we're gonna be piloting that here. Hopefully, if it works out well, we'll be taking it into the new year across the branch. So excited for that. So if you're in South Texas area or 450 from here, you're welcome to sign up, push your gray shirts out to it. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for 2022 for it to come to a neighborhood near you. And with that, I will pass it on to, I believe, Arkansas, Louisiana.
All right, good evening, folks. So I'm going to be passing the baton over to Nick Lohman. He is our Louisiana training lead, and he's going to be letting you guys know all the updates that we have coming up in the next 60 days. Over to you, Nick.
All right, I hope y'all can hear me. Good evening, everyone. So quite a few things working in Arkansas, Louisiana. We have first off, big shout out to all the locals across Arkansas and Louisiana who stepped up and got shit done with Won't Bow Down. We just finished that up. I think it was last week is when we finally closed the last fob. So that was a big success. Also, give a big shout out to everybody who helped and participated, because the state vice commander for Louisiana VFW. He praised Team Rubicon and all of our efforts, and wanted to give a big shout out to us and thank y'all. Thank everybody who helped out with that. So some events that we've got coming on. End of the year trailer inventory and reset will be coming up. The New Orleans Baton Rouge Metro is going to be doing a vet appreciation op won't bow down social and grab your go bag. Then something I'm actually excited to put out there, and I'm going to post the roll call link, but the happiest hour with Wendy and Tyson, me and Brenda Noor, we came up with this. So here is the.
I think we just lost your audio, sir.
Okay, sorry, I lost audio. So this is going to be basically a social get together for anybody who has a service animal within TR, but also anybody interested in learning to get a service dog, or if you just have questions for people in TR who have a service dog. But we're going to go over quite a few things, and then afterwards, get together and just discuss different stuff that we've got going on. So that's a big thing. Like I said, me and Brenda, we put this together. So you can see in the picture, the lab is Wendy and Tyson is the German Shepherd. So next thing we've got coming up is the Region 6 GOSEP OEM meeting that I will be attending. We also have a Core Ops class coming up, hopefully in December. We have a holiday social for New Orleans and Arkansas, and then Reefs across America and Slidell. So other than that, that's the events. Next thing is after that is we're working with local VOADs. We're working with local leadership and everything else, trying to get that together and find out how we did and if there's any more unmet needs from Operation Won't Back Down. And then finally, we're finalizing our geo training event. Training and events calendar. So other than that, I'm going to pass it on to Drew. Thanks.
Thank you, Roy. And that wraps up our geographic roundup. We're going to shift to op support mode, dive through our functional areas, starting off with our field leader team.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I'd like to welcome Jack Grandy, who has made the move over to the Charlotte Metro Field Operations Lead. We appreciate you coming on board and look forward to working with you in the future. Next slide, please. As has been said repeatedly, we have now officially demobbed all of the Won't Bow Down operations, and we still currently have some people out in Fort Bliss. Currently set to demob on the 19th, but I guess we'll wait and see what happens in the future. Next slide, please. So here we have our training events upcoming. We have on the 1st of December is going to be our next field operations call. For anyone who is field operations or has a desire to be Commander General Staff, we wholeheartedly welcome anyone to come in. Just let us know, either let myself or Oscar know, and we will get you invited to that. We have some great training that comes in. We recently had Jeff Byard come in and talk to us about the strategy and what's coming forward. And we have even more things fun and exciting coming up. So we look forward to seeing anybody. We'll look at your roll call for any operations and opportunities. With that, have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, Jeff. And we'll kick it over to training.
Good evening, everybody. This weekend, we attended a TR Instructor 1 Train to Trainer. Congratulations to the newest South Branch instructors for TR Instructor 1, Stephen Henneman, Jen Nieder, and Elizabeth Saunders. It was a great weekend at the Knot. For the number one question that I get within the South Branch is, how do we become a HE operator? So if you have any gray shirt that has prior HE experience, please advise them to go to their transcript and roll call and reflect that experience. Once we are planning a HE plus proficiency course, Patrick Wright will go in there and print off that list and email those participants. And for the branch right now, we are looking for TR Instructor 1 and Site Survey Cadre leads. If you are interested or know anyone that is interested, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And I have been furiously mentioned on the side. It is Jen Needer, as in I need her. I do that wrong all the time. Over to our planning and situation team.
Good evening from the planning team. This month, the planners created multiple ISRs and recon plans for numerous recon teams. The recon teams were able to verify on most of these no response needed, but they made valuable connections for blue skies and gray skies, and also trained new VOAD team members and mission planning team members. The planners attended state and local VOAD meetings to engage with our partner agencies, and they're working on potential previous storm cleanup projects in Florida right now, continuing team building by planning across state lines. Our situation unit did 31 October forecasts and bulletins, thanks to Mother Nature being a little calmer this month. We continue to work on ongoing projects. Sandy is working on the recon decision matrix. Allison has started a where to stage project, and data collection has stopped due to technical issues. And if you have any info during storms, especially about emergency managers, please let the situation unit know in the Watchtower channel so that they can include it in the briefings. And I just wanted to close with a big shout out to all the planners for working so hard behind the scenes. I know this month, a couple of times they got word that they needed an ISR built and they had it built in less than an hour. So a big shout out to all the planners right there working behind the scenes. Back to you, Drew.
Thank you, Sherry. Could not agree more about all that work the planning teams do. And I, for one, I'm a huge fan of solid planning that tells us, we don't need to do work out there because it means that help is already rocked out. We will kick it to our comms team.
Good evening, everyone. So just a reminder that our geographic newsletters go out once a month. So submissions for those are due 1 week after the first working day of the month. And we are coming up with some social media training that we're going to require everyone who is an admin or moderator on any of the geo area social media groups, the Facebook groups, to attend. So just keep an eye out that we're going to require that. We're going to aim to offer it more than once. And that is all I have. Oh, and this is also a photo from somebody kicking ass at Operation Won't Bow Down.
Thanks, Morgan. I'm going to jump in here real quick. Something I forgot to add to the slide. I apologize. For those of you that don't know, we have started the transition for the Facebook pages. The Region 4 page is being renamed to South Branch once Facebook decides to do their part of it. So if you are part of the Region 6 page and are not part of the current Region 6 page and not part of the current Region 4 page, please go over there, sign up, because come December 1st, the Region 6 page will be archived. There wouldn't be nothing posted on that, and Region 4 should be renamed to South Branch by the end of the month. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Jeremy and Morgan. Moving into technology, I believe I'm covering for this one tonight as well. Biggest update to pull out of the tech world is the field services pilot. Field services, if you guys haven't heard the scuttlebutt, is going to be Palantir 2, or our new way of documenting our work orders, tracking leads, doing site surveys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They did pilot 1 in Laplace, for Won't Bow Down. And they're currently running the second pilot in Won't Bow Down in sunny Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Still have a few more modules they want to add in, particularly surrounding mitigation and recovery. And then they're building out the training pipeline for that right now. But we will be, whether we want to or not, off of Palantir come 2022. And this will be the new system. The cool thing about this is that the new field services will totally integrate with the EMS. So the same way that we've been pulling all of our volunteer contacts, all of our donor contacts, all of our mission planning work product into that ecosystem, our work orders will now be part of that as well, which is going to make it so much easier for us to pull reports, track that data, follow, sort of the life of the work that an individual gray shirt does. Just lots of cool stuff we can do once it gets plugged in there. Also, hopefully, because we own it, it will solve a lot of the pain points that those of you who have had a love-hate relationship with Palantir over the years know full well. So stand by for updates on that, but be excited about it. Should be pretty cool. And with that, I will kick it over to Logs.
Good evening, everyone. We currently have our monthly logistics sync tomorrow at 1900 Eastern. And Q4 inventory / swag orders are due by December 1st, 2021. And now I'll pass it over to Jeremy.
Hey, y'all. So we are releasing, you guys get to be a part of this, the new field items, marketing, collateral, and swag strategy. It'll detail what items from the TRPX are available for operations, advocacy and awareness events, marketing collateral, and what swag items for each of those events that we can have, so whether it's special events, operations, service projects, anything like that. And I'm going to drop the link to the document right here in the chat so you guys can see it. Give it some time. Tomorrow we are doing an in-depth piece with our logistics leads and leaders on our meeting tomorrow. So you'll have a better, clearer understanding of how it works and how we're going to work through it. It's actually a little bit simpler now because we figured out some problems with how it was working before, where certain people didn't have access because we had it on the logistics SharePoint page. So we work through some issues like that. So it'll get a little bit easier to be able to get pushed through and get those swag orders and other items ordered for the events that you guys are looking to do. Reach out if you have any questions and we'll be able to answer them. That's all I've got. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, gents. We'll kick it over to the wild world of mobilization. I believe other Jeremy is up.
Yeah, this is the Jeremy that doesn't bake cookies in a tree. So, hey, everyone, it's been a while. First and foremost, I do want to say thank you to my entire MOB team. I've been out for a few months, mainly because work wants me to work more and too many kids events. So apologize for being out, for some of the busiest months of the year, but everybody stepped up, as you can see with some of the numbers in the top right corner. You're really, kicking ass getting a lot of these deployments done. So, as many of you have talked about, Eagle Landing, last day is the 18th, demob on the 19th. We did have a recovery op in Gainesville that we've moved up to December, and I think we've also talked about Won't Bow Down is also demobbed. 736 total deployments with over 555 people is pretty impressive. That's a really big op, and really proud of that one and all the work that everybody pitched in to do there. We did a lot of new things that we hadn't done before, from a MOB perspective. Inputting flights and tracking some of the details. So that was cool. And, now hopefully with some of these big hurricane ops and they're starting to slow down a little bit, trying to turn our focus to increasing ranks with some recruiting, also just engaging, evangelizing about MOB out there, educating the field. So that's it from a MOB standpoint. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jeremy. Welcome back, sir. And we will kick it over to the happiest briefing from Happy herself, membership.
Hey there, not to be Debbie Downer, but if this is alphabetical, the alphabet police need to be summoned. ME is before MO. But anyway, so monthly A to the Q. So this is really cool. During our next membership sync for all of our membership people and any other interested parties who let one of the branch membership people know, we're going to be doing an event planning event. What does that mean? That means that for 20 minutes of that meeting, we're going to be talking or actually entering an event into EMS live so that people can see the quick and the easy of it. And so, because just I know that not everybody's used to it, not everybody's done it recently, and we want everybody to feel comfortable with it. Because it's not awful. We would like to welcome some new folks to the crew. Kathy Forney from Houston, Texas, and Melanie Matthews from Charlotte, North Carolina. A gentle reminder to everybody, branch membership would absolutely love to sit in on membership interviews when feasible, so please don't forget to invite us. Otherwise, we get all sad panda, and it's really terrible. The other thing is if somebody becomes a membership leader, we'd also love to know about that, just in case we had temporarily fallen off the face of the earth and didn't know, because, it happens. The next national membership sync was scheduled for Wednesday, December 15th. I believe there is discussion about moving it to January, but I don't believe that a firm decision has been made on that. Yep, there's a sad panda. Thank you, Drew. And something that you want to know about is, again, already mentioned, the happiest hour with Wendy and Tyson. You really want to be there. And of course, thank you to all our veterans. Happy Veterans Day and happy birthday, Marines. And just all things happy. So that's enough out of me. Next person.
I don't think that the Marine Corps birthday is now or ever, because they don't have one. Driving on some awesome stats that the membership team pulled together. Do you want to cover those, Laura, or do you want me to?
Briefly, I can say, I'm sorry. I got so excited I forgot about the stats. Then, so what we see there is that our recruitment rates or new membership rates have returned to normal. I use that term loosely. Normal pre hurricane rates. So we're back to what is normal for now. And that's enough. So that's what that picture shows. Now we can really go on to whatever comes after M.
I believe what comes after M is the letter F, as in finance.
That would be me, John, which is a J, which comes before M, if anybody is interested in the alphabet. But yeah, we're continuing to seek some gray shirts interested into filling in some of the finance roles as coordinators. The more we have, the better that we can provide quicker response to the gray shirts on the particularly on the concur reporting processing. Just again, as a reminder, because we've had some issues with this, any monies on any unused PEX funding from a previous event or operations cannot be used on for travel, going to a different location for an operation or a project. All those funds, if they're not collected back, and we probably will collect them back, has to be used to a specific event. So you just can't go and use it as travel money going to another event that you're going to participate in. Please don't do that. We're continuing to assist the Gray Shirts seeking info on SAP Concur signups. We've had a significant number, I say significant, we've had about 25 or so online classes since March on Concur. And quite frankly, we've had a few of the classes had, maybe 10, 12 people in it, which is good. But most of them had just a couple of 4 or something like that. But we knew as soon as an operation would kick off, and Ida hit us head on with 3 events going on all at the same time, that we would end up with a whole bunch of people wanting some POV money back. So that increased our work significantly on getting them signed up, and we continue to do that. And for those that did not attend our classes, we're continuing to work with them, sometimes one-on-one, to get them understanding their reports. So we're working with that. We have a link there for the updated Concur coding guide, and I suggest everybody take a look at that, because there's a few of them that I didn't even know about. I come to find out today. So that's a good document to print out and keep handy, and it will help you with coding some of your expenses that might be a little irregular. I'm working with IMT leadership. We've had some inquiries about some issues, about 7 or so issues that among the IMT people that have caused some confusion. So with that, I'm working with Tracy. I talked to her last week, and she again is reviewing the original document that was prepared for us to consider, putting some specific IMT policies together. So that will happen here hopefully soon. Another issue that's causing us some great problems is the EMS naming convention. You may notice on some of these things, as you go through and try to find a cost center, that you may find multiple names for the same event. Some are recon, you got to be careful. Some are advon, you got to be careful of that. And some are abbreviated, so they're out of sequence alphabetically, because there is a 36 character restriction in that you can use for naming anything in the cost center. So that indicates to us that we cannot have real long names for these various events. So I will work closer with the EMS techs as well as finance to try to find out how we can standardize that. We had a similar situation with KTK, as you recall. I think when it first kicked off, we had probably about 3 or 4 different naming conventions that we had to deal with. So anyway, that's something that we should be looking forward to. We are always available in finance to help you locate the appropriate cost center. And for operations specifically, we do send out DMOB emails. We hope to get them out within a couple of days after DMOB at least, so the individuals have time to look at it, and we always put in the appropriate cost center in that DMOB email, so that you don't have to hunt for it in the Concur reporting. So that's it from the finance section. Again, we're here to support, and I think we do a relatively decent job. So feel free to let me know what we've got, what's bugging you, and we'll try to address that as well. That's all I have from the finance side.
Thank you, John. All of these Frozen memes are really going to come back and bite me in the rear later when I have to pull out the links for the recap. All right, moving into our wellness team. Perhaps they will make me feel better.
Well, I'm going to make John feel better. John, I always appreciate y'all as a very technology terrified person. So thank you. All right, moving into wellness, guys. Just a quick update. We're still continuing to do buddy checks. We're still continuing to send out cards and just checking in on people. I do want to put a plug in there for the upcoming holidays. I know it's been talked about, but just from a purely wellness perspective, the holidays tend to be both good and bad for a lot of reasons. And so our stress levels go up, especially with COVID. So even if it's good stressors, sometimes our bodies don't react well because the brain is super shady. So if you're struggling over the holidays, anxiety, depression, stress, try not to yell at the spouse or something. Instead, call a friendly wellness person and we'll talk you down and we'll talk through all the things that are going on. I've got a whole team of people who already know the holidays are a lot of stress and they want to be a part of it for you. So reach out to us. We like to talk. And outside of that, I just want to replug what Kate said about the sit and sips. These are going to be such a great opportunity for people to go and just talk with some other gray shirts. We love that they are doing this. And so any support that they need, we are all about it. So please show up to those, let other people know about them. That is a great way to get gray shirts involved. So that is it from wellness.
Thank you, Apri. And I believe that if the phone a friend option doesn't work, you can also poll the studio audience. Now we have some exciting news on the problem-solving front. Over to my friend and yours, Miss Elizabeth Saunders.
Nice. So this is the last time you guys have to hear from me, I promise tonight, but this is an exciting one. So one of the things that I think a lot of you have asked is like, hey, we provided this feedback, where's the change or where's the update, like what's going on with it? A couple people have provided the same feedback maybe, right? So one thing we're trying to do to be a little bit more visible with what's going on is there is now in SharePoint a feedback input form. You can see most of the form here on the slide, just like what's the problem related to, what functional area. This is going to help us capture it. We have a capture form that it then gets put into, which is your resolution tracker there. And you'll see who is like the ultimate point of contact responsible for helping get this situation resolved. You'll see there's also a tab down there that says resolved. So if there is something you've said like, hey, like Happy said, people are not sure how, since we've been not doing in-person events for so long due to COVID, the knowledge on how do you actually set up an event in EMS and what are all of the, yeah, Mike, I'll talk about that. All of the things that are like little tabs that maybe have changed in 18 months or 20 months. So walking through that. So that was brought up. So getting together like a formal training and all of that so that we can share that. Everyone across the branch is on board, across the country is on board with how we actually go through the EMS event process. Cool. It's in progress. You guys can see that that's being worked on. If you were curious, there's a little thing to the side that says Ops Associate is responsible for that. So you guys can ping me and say, hey, where are we with this, right? This is all visible and transparent for you guys. You don't have edit access to this resolution tracker, but you are able to get in there and see what's going on. If you put something in to the form and you haven't seen it hit the tracker, we're asking you that you give us like a week or 2 weeks, 14 days with the holidays coming up, but usually 7 days. Each of the ops associates and your functional associates or ops support branch associates, as we call them, are meeting weekly to kind of knock some of these out and to get on a page of like, hey, here's the issues that were brought up. Here's how we're going to resolve these. And let's make sure we're on pace and they didn't get to that 80% solution and then forgot about, or that they didn't fall off the radar during hurricane season or during the holidays. So Mike asked, is this different than feedback at? Yes. This is South Branch, like process systems, like any kind of issues that you might be having that, or that gray shirts are bringing to you, like, hey, I'm never getting the survey with the discount code for the store after I get demobilized from an operation. Like, hey, bring that up. We'll see if that's something that's common across the board. That was a one-person thing, and maybe we'll put that in the tracker, and we'll get that resolved so that everyone's tracking on it. So hopefully this provides a little bit of visibility for everyone to see where we're at, that we are hearing your feedback, that we are working on it, and alleviate a little bit of the frustration of like, hey, I told you about this, what are you doing about it? Because we know that you guys all have a lot of good insight, especially like getting those eyes and ears on the ground with gray shirts and feeding that information back up. But oftentimes with everything going on, especially during storm season, things do get a little busy and we might lose track of things. So this should be a good solution, and I am going to drop the links for that here. And always, if you do have like feedback at like things you need to send up to national or to TR like that need to be addressed, please continue to use that for that form as its intended use. But this is more for helping, not fix, helping alleviate some of the struggles we're having as branch operations and as branch volunteer leaders, etc. Right.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you to Elizabeth and Chrissy for really driving on building that form out. I look forward to all of you testing the form with copious amounts of feedback around whether or not tomorrow is a day of significance, because I submit to you that nothing happened on November 10th. Moving on to our monthly announcements. If you guys aren't tracking, Thursday, Veterans Day, is also Salute to Service, our big annual fundraiser. Mostly calling this out to you guys because if you'd like to attend the festivities online, those tickets are free and still very available. Not asking you guys to give your hard-earned dollars to it. You give plenty and then some to us with the sweat equity that you earn in the organization. But still kind of fun to drop in, see the celebrities and all the other things that are going on. There's usually some fun videos and some funny moments. So if you'd like to check it out, we'll share that link out to everyone who wants to see it. Other things to note. So this is really our last formal all hands in the format that you have come to know it, for a couple of reasons. First, December all hands is going to be a little bit of a different format. We will have a little bit of updates for you guys at the beginning of the call, but we will rapidly transition it into just our branch holiday celebration. If you guys were with us last year, we did the 12 Days of Tribesmas, which was a really awesome video that Apri and Jen and Trish and some others pulled together with collaboration from all-stars around the greater organization. We'll be sharing that link again if you didn't get to see it before. It was pretty funny. But so we have some music videos, some home tours, and I believe we've been promised a special holiday edition of Gray Matters. So that'll be the plan for the December all hands. And then as we will have wrapped up 2021, we'll really be looking at 2022, which is going to bring to it a whole bunch of shifts and changes and updates for everybody. Some quite momentous, like the return of Lil Falcon herself. Brittany Olsen is coming back. Some more updates on that shortly. But also things like the South Branch Leadership Conference. The field leadership team is working hard on refining our hurricane response work. And a revamp of this call itself. So big thanks to everybody who gave me feedback on the survey last call or participated in one of the sensing sessions about how we can make this call better and more useful for you guys. We're going to continue to kind of drive on that and hope to have some sort of updates and announcements for everyone as we get closer to that. But last and certainly not least, wanted to share the drafted departmental goals. These are goals that are across the entire operations team for Team Rubicon. So not just you fine folks here on the call in the South Branch, but all three of the geographic branches, the support branches, are all working in concert towards these four things in 2022. They are in no particular order to grow operational connections across geographic areas and be the most locally connected disaster response organization in America, to grow the capability and capacity in all geographic areas to enable rapid response to individuals and communities in the immediate aftermath of disasters, and ensure we have procedures in place to support large-scale disasters, to invest in mission-focused learning opportunities, and to invest in the operations support branch to improve coordination and implement activity monitoring to enable information sharing systems and process improvements. So basically, in short, we want to do more, we want to do it faster, we want to do it better. You guys are the critical drivers of that. So continue to stand by for those updates. You guys will be an important part of a lot of those conversations. That sort of concludes all of our announcements. So I will drop slides and hand the microphone, as always, to our fearless leader, Mr. Jim Flory.
Hey, thanks everyone that came tonight for giving of your time. As always, we know it's valuable. It's nighttime, it's time to relax, and yet you chose to be here, so we all appreciate that. So in my normal sense every month that I talk to you guys, I want to reflect on what you guys mean to us. And this month I want to talk about the upcoming seasons. So we all know that November and December can be a time for fun and hilarity and time with family, time with friends, and it is what we make of it, right? But let's also remember that there are other people out there that are not enjoying the holidays. So that's why a Priest message really should hit home of looking out for your brothers and sisters, making sure everyone's doing well. Now's a time where it's a little bit quieter. Knock on wood, I should have said that Q word. But it's we're winding down the hurricane season. We're not yet in tornado season. So opportunities for deployment are not as readily available. There are people out there, though, we have seen year after year that look for opportunities this time of year to go out and still be involved. And if we find opportunities, we find operations, let's continue to push on those because, again, not everybody looks forward to the holiday season like some of us do. So watch out for your brothers and sisters, reflect on your involvement, take some time off and relax, recharge your batteries because we need you back. We need you here through the next couple months, but we need you back in 2022 strong. Tornadoes will hit us in probably January, if not February of next year. So we'll be kicking off the year, as always, with some pretty good storms, and we want to be ready. We, have dedicated our time to you guys as staff. Our job is to support you as leaders, to support the volunteers, lead the volunteers so that we can go out and get good work done. And I look across the board of the names that are on here. I listen to you guys talk. It's what keeps us going, right? As staff members, right? We do this. We've chosen to be here, but even more so, you guys have chosen to be here. You guys are doing this for the love of the organization and the love of the work we do. So again, thank you. Reflect, relax, recharge, but as always, look out for your brothers and sisters that might be hurting this time of year. So let's meet again in December and have a little bit of fun. And then kick off 2022, the month after that, and really get back to work. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go ahead. I will stop the recording with